All right, y'all, welcome to PTC Cast episode 26. Yeah. Yeah, man, the most muscular. Yeah.
I just throw the mic at you.
Man, today, Chris and I talk about setting morning and evening routines and setting yourself up for success by drawing a line in the sand, building yourself a little box that you don't break out of and nobody else breaks into so that you can set your own standards and dictate your day.
Yes.
Dictate your day. A lot of enunciation on this one.
Dictate your day.
This is brought to you by progressthroughchange.com, where you can get your 4 easy habits for fat loss guide. It's like a 10 or 15 second form to fill out that will give you a 12-page PDF to help you change your life, man. Worked for me, worked for Chris, works for every single one of my clients. Mm-hmm. Enjoy the show. Recently, something that's been on my mind a lot, and really just because I've been talking to a lot of clients about it, is kind of drawing a line in the sand for yourself. And so creating this line, creating these, I'm going to say maybe expectations, maybe barriers might be the wrong way to put it, but, you know, setting a certain standard for yourself to set yourself up for success. And, you know, whether that line in the sand is like, okay, I wake up at 7 a.m. and I don't snooze. I get right out of bed. Or whether that's something along the lines of like, okay, I, you know, put in my entire food journal for the day and I don't eat outside of that. And, you know, some of those things, like, they may seem small or like just little discipline tasks, but it's almost like the more that we can commit to them, the more we can set ourselves up for success and kind of put things on autopilot, if that makes sense. So like, if you draw that line in the sand for yourself and you don't let yourself cross it or anyone else cross it, you know what I'm saying? You create that barrier for yourself. It kind of can put you on a little bit more of an autopilot. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I was listening to Extreme Ownership on the way here, and Jocko was talking about how
good one.
How he had to work with some Marines, and you know, in there that they would shave, you know, every single morning, and they would, you know, straighten their shirts and jackets, and
it's like their routine.
Yeah, exactly. Like they had these routines that they didn't even question, and like you said, you know, it was an autopilot thing at the very bottom in order to ensure success at the highest level. Whenever they're under a lot of pressure and they need to be able to perform at a certain standard, you know, those little disciplines that they're doing every single day puts them on a track to perform at that standard. And I know in my life, there's a direct correlation when it comes to how I'm feeling and how my routines are going. If I, you know, skip out on my routines for a week, it's usually because there's something happening in my life that's making me feel shitty.
Yeah.
And
something needs to change.
Yeah, exactly. But as soon as, you know, I'm able to get those routines back under control and those, you know, disciplines, whether that's waking up at a certain time in the morning or whatever it is, then, you know, my life instantly gets on a better track for success, whatever I want that success to be.
Yeah, and I've also noticed that same exact thing myself. You know, it's the more that I can kind of keep that same routine of like, you know, get up, let the dogs out, drink X amount of water, do my yoga, take the dogs on the walk. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of keeps me on this pace for like, you know, almost setting the tone for the day, but then also, you know, setting yourself up for success for that day. You know, I notice a huge difference in my days if I'm, you know, scrambling to get out of the door and, you know, I'm 10 minutes behind and I planned on eating breakfast, but I don't have time to make breakfast, and, you know, versus, you know, waking up with the alarm and, you know, doing the things I need to do on time so that you're not stressed out and anxious first thing in the day. And it sets that tone differently. Yeah,
it's almost like you're starting off in control. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're starting off the morning with your alarm going off and, you know, you instantly stop it, you get up, you make your bed, you know, you do these set things. Well, every single decision that you're making, or every single right decision that you're making in order to, you know, improve the day, that's something that you're in control of. And I think that the feeling that creates with you, you know, carries on for the rest of the day. And, you know, no matter how the rest of the day goes, well, at least you were in control of the morning. And, you know, I know evening routines are also great to be in control of the evening, you know? So no matter what happens during the day, you're starting your day off right and you're ending your day off right. And that's, I don't know if it's the word control that makes me feel, good with these morning routines and other people.
Yeah.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but I know that there's something very important about, setting routines in your life.
Yeah. I would agree with that as well. And I think, the biggest thing too is when you set that routine and you don't deviate from it, it's something that kind of can build for you, as far as like, you set that routine of whatever, walking 30 minutes every morning, like over time, you're going to start losing weight. Like over time, you're going to start feeling better. Like over time, your cardio is going to get better. So it's kind of one of those things that like, maybe that's a specific one to like health and weight loss, but it's like, if you, whatever, you make that routine, like to be more efficient at work or to spend more time with, whatever certain hobby or significant other or anything like that. Like, I really think that like that kind of that blocking and that like dedicated time can really just kind of build upon itself and become something a bit more.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, like, you can be the architect of these things. Like if your goal is to lose weight, well, then you can build set in stone to do those morning walks and, to do that food journaling and everything. Like, you can set yourself up for success. And then if you're doing these, every single day, day in, day out, at the end of the year, that's 365 days of whatever it is, that you're doing. Like, imagine not walking and then doing 365 days of walking, even 15 minutes a day. Like, that's a lot of walking.
Yeah, and when you sit there and say 365, it can seem very overwhelming or almost undoable. But I don't even like to look at. Yeah, I don't even like to look at it in confines of like that. It's just like, no, it's just a process you do, and it's not, the end result has nothing to do with it. It's just about having the process integrated and being part of who you are and what you do. Because when you do that, it's not about that number. It's like, no, this is just what I do. You know what I mean? This is what I do because it makes me feel good. This is what I do because it keeps me healthy. This is what I do because it's, my time for me to think and to walk my dog or, whatever that is, And so it's just like you said.
Yeah. What are your morning routines right now?
So,
let's see if you can take. Let's see.
Yeah, I can tell you, I can line it up pretty good actually.
All right, let's hear it.
So since I've been training 6 days a week, it's actually really helped me because even on the days where I train for only about half an hour, I still do that same routine. It just adjusts how long the training session is. But anyways, what I've been doing is I get up, I let Cora out, I drink a ton of water, I make a pot of coffee, I put Cora away, I let the other two dogs out, Morty and Sil go outside. Now I go get a coffee and then I go get started on my work. So usually that just means for me is like I just want to write down what I'm going to do for the day. And depending on the day of the week, maybe that's write the Monday email, maybe that's send out client updates, maybe that's, just plan out my day and see what I'm going to do. But after I do that for like 15 minutes, I'll train and then I get ready for work. Then I'll walk Cora and throw the ball with Morty. And then I'm starting my day.
Nice.
So man. Yeah, it's I got it down to a science, and there's definitely like a little deviation there sometimes, but I was gonna say I'm feeling pretty confident about how much I got it down right now. So
when you get in those things, it's like you said, it's just something that you do. You don't even question it.
Yeah, and it might be more of a personality thing, but there's some things that like it pisses me off if I miss it. Like 2 days ago, I didn't have the time to walk Cora before I left for work. Otherwise, I would have been late to a session, and I was like. It like kind of irked me all day, because I could just tell that difference, man. And, the walk is one of the bigger pieces. Like it'd be different if I, whatever, I don't know, miss some other little step. The walk is kind of a big one for me.
Walks are very,
Yeah, but it was just interesting how that one like slight deviation kind of like, it didn't throw me off like that bad. Like I didn't have a bad day because of it. Yeah, but I really was. I was like, man, I missed that today. That was something I like to do. It was kind of my thing,
Yeah.
So,
man.
But yeah, man. So I got them down pretty good. I feel good about them. Where I struggled the most is the evening routine. It's hard for me to kind of shut it down at the end of the day when I'm wired up. But what's your evening routine?
My evening routine. Well,
do you have one?
Actually, right now, I don't have an evening routine. But a couple weeks ago, what I would do, which I do need to just start doing again, is, and I have to try to remember this, I believe I started it at 9 p.m. and what I would do is turn off all of my devices, and then I have a lamp.
That's such a good start.
Yeah.
That's such a good start.
Yeah, I would turn off my computer, my phone, or I would put my phone on the charger, and then what happens is it automatically turns on bedtime mode because I still need my alarm.
Yeah.
But the bedtime mode gray screens it and then puts it on silent and focus mode. But I turn off all the lights. I turn on a lamp on a red light thing, and I recap the day. So I write down how my day went according to the plan, which is part of my morning ritual. And, things that need to be moved to tomorrow and things that are no longer important. And I also write, maybe something that I found valuable, in the day, like an aha moment.
Sure.
And I keep that in a journal. And then what I do is I get my daily planner ready for the next day, just put that on top of the recap of the day, go to my bathroom, pop half an allergy pill, and then I set my bed up and I go to sleep.
That's it.
Yeah. Boom. And that usually puts me in bed by like 9:30, so that when I wake up at 7, That's awesome. I have, a shitload of sleep.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I'm ready to kick ass.
That's awesome. Yeah. But it's really those routines that just kind of, that really makes me think I need to get on top of an evening one, man, because it's so interesting how well the morning one sets my day, but I have struggled with sleep in the past. And so I wonder if that evening routine would probably be a big piece for me. And so for a while there, I was pretty good about, maybe no screens or stop eating at a certain time or things like that. But I never really carved out like, okay, hour away from bedtime, this. I've tried a couple different times with a few different things. Like for a minute, I would like sauna and then cold shower and then get ready and go to bed. But I think it needs to be a little bit of a shorter one because it was like an hour and a half routine or something like that. So,
yeah, my evening routine, what I tried to do a long evening routine, and what I found out is it just became very inconsistent because I don't know why it is as opposed to like the morning routine, because I feel like the morning routine can be pretty long.
Yeah. Well, I started small with that and built upon it, but go on. Yeah, but go on.
But yeah, I just had a real big trouble trying to make a long evening routine. So after I, cut it down to the most important parts, it really helped me, it triggered my brain like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then it's time to knock the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because I started noticing at around 9:00 every single day, my eyes would immediately just like,
yeah.
And especially when I turned off all the lights and shut off my devices, it was bedtime. Man.
Yeah.
Which was really cool because instead of having to, potentially take like 30 minutes to go to sleep, I was instantly asleep.
Yeah.
And then by the time the morning came, like it was ready to go.
Yeah.
I was ready to go.
I told you, I've been playing a little bit of Elden Ring.
That's dangerous, man.
Yeah, man. Well, it's like a stressful game that, gets you all hyped up and excited, and it's fun, but I was playing it too close to bedtime last night. And so it took Brandon and I like probably an hour and some change to get to bed. And I like usually like right as my head hits the bed, I'm asleep. And last night it was like a couple minutes later than usual, which is still only like a few minutes, but like I definitely noticed a difference as far as like just kind of being wired up close to bedtime. So yeah,
gotta turn those screens off, man.
we used to watch Law and Order SVU when I got home from work. Like we'd eat dinner and watch Law and Order SVU together, and it was super fun and it's a good show, but dude, it would stress me out. And I don't know if you're familiar with that show, but it's like a special victims unit. So the topics are like, pretty dark, heavy stuff. So
yeah, I don't like listening to
that stuff. Man. And it's like, and that's the same reason like I don't do like scary movies or anything like that. Is because I just don't know, man. Like I don't need any of that. But the Law and Order SVU definitely like held me on the edge of my seat. But yeah, I was waking up in the middle of the night. Like I just couldn't do it anymore, man. Yeah.
Dang, dude.
So, yeah, which was a bummer. But I'm sure if I watched it like in the morning with breakfast or something, that'd be different. But I don't really watch TV in the morning.
Because you have the rest of the day to get your mind off.
Yeah, yeah. But so it's interesting because I think that's maybe what makes evening routines a little bit harder for me is like, morning routine, as long as I get out of bed on time, then it's a no-brainer from there. Because like, what am I going to do? It's this. But when it's evening routine, it's like, if you're in the middle of doing something, or if you've had a long day and you're trying to wind down or something like that, like, it's like I think that's why. Yeah, so I think that's why maybe it needs to be a little bit shorter if I, whenever I do go and craft one, which I think I'm going to do like today. But because it's got to be something like simple, quick that you can just shut down with,
Yeah, man. And Darren Hardy was talking about this. I don't know if I've told you, like the bookend your days, and that's part of what the evening routine is, because if you have your morning to start your day off right, what happens if your day gets shitty, and then in the evening you're sleeping with that shitty day.
Yeah.
Well, if you have an evening routine set in place, then you can kind of, control that, whatever feeling that may have, came upon you through, during the day.
Yeah.
And you can end it off with maybe something inspirational or something like motivational, or kind of realign, your mind.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever tried like meditation or anything like that?
What do you mean by meditation?
Really just sitting there and being quiet to kind of still your mind.
No. I've tried that like maybe a couple times like years ago, but
yeah. Nah. What does it mean to you then? What were you thinking when you said, what do I mean?
I guess I think of walks without like music or audiobooks.
Yeah.
I feel like that's I
think that's the same category for sure.
Yeah. I guess whatever just helps me clear my mind. Like I know when I'm done training and the drive back home is very like meditative for me, because I feel like I'm at
shut
peace.
It down. Yeah.
Well, no, like I'm not even trying. Like it's already shut down.
Okay,
and I'm just like, I'm not thinking about anything. Like I'm just driving home with the windows down after, working hard as hell in the gym and, getting better. And then for the morning walks, there's sometimes, usually I'll listen to audiobooks, but there's sometimes where I just want to like be, and I'll walk Harold, just feel the wind and, especially today with like the gray skies, like I was just walking, just
enjoying,
chilling and just enjoying, man.
Yeah. It's funny you said that, because usually if I'm walking in the morning, like a routine walk, not like a dedicated cardio walk, usually I'm almost never listening to anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Just walking Gora.
It feels good doing.
Like, it does. Yeah. It just gives you a chance to think a little bit,
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that one will go in the night routine too.
Maybe. I actually wanted to start walking Harold during the night too, because I feel like that would help like calm the day down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. So, but yeah, whatever the night routine is, whatever any routine I think anyone would start with, it should definitely be something small and something manageable at first, right? A couple of tasks tops, no more than 30 minutes maybe or something like that. Just as with anything, like start small with it. And if it's something that you can do every day, you can slowly build on it, or if you're good with it, you're good with it, Mm-hmm. So I think that's, my big thing with the morning routine was just, there was a lot of things I'm trying to get done before I go to work, and a lot of things that I like to do to set the tone for my day, whether it's, health related or, mental health related or whatever that means. Like, it's just doing those things for yourself, because it'll affect the way that you feel and you operate. And, you kind of, autopilot was kind of the word I used. Like, and I think if you can kind of regulate and automate those things, like you can really set yourself up for good days consistently.
Mm-hmm. And I think a good starting point for these would be specifically the morning routine, like waking up. I don't know what it is, but waking up at a specific time. Mm-hmm. And then doing a specific thing after you wake up, like like setting up your bed. There's something about that. And then I know one other thing that's an easy routine to implement is, especially if you drive a lot, is what you listen to. Yeah. Like, are you listening to music? Are you listening to BS podcasts? Or are you listening to something that will actually educate you and inspire you to, do something better or change or something like that?
It's fun. It's really funny you say that, because in the mornings I either listen to a real bodybuilding podcast, which is like more just some top name bodybuilders shooting the shit, but it kind of keeps my mind on getting my meals in and training hard and doing the things that you need to do to be successful in bodybuilding,
which is a priority for you.
Yeah, or I'm listening to Muscle Intelligence by Ben Pakulski, which is just strictly informative about anything and everything health related. So it's interesting that you said that, because that's a big one for me too, is setting the tone. Like, sometimes in the morning I'll do music, but most of the time I definitely prefer a podcast.
Yeah, podcasts are great, man. So and audiobooks.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Gosh. So, but yeah, I think it's just set those routines, keep yourself in that. It sounds corny to say, man, but in that mindset, right? In that zone of, hey, I've done these things. I've drawn this line in the sand for myself. I've done these things. so that I can feel good, so that I can have a good day, so that I can accomplish whatever I need to do.
And I think it's movement. Always be in movement. If you're not in control of those morning routines and you're just kind of coasting through or letting whatever you feel, dictate what you do, you're not moving anywhere.
Yeah.
You're just
You got to commit to those things.
Yeah, you're just flowing through, and it doesn't feel personally. I don't think it feels good to just flow through things. I tried that 2 weeks ago when I was feeling like very anxious, and all it did was make me even more anxious and more confused.
Yeah, it's not me.
You have to move forward.
Well, I think a big part of it is your day controlling you, or you controlling your day. Mm-hmm. Right? It's like, do you want to be in charge of what you're doing? Do you want to do the things you need to do so you can organize and dictate your day the way you need it to go? Or do you want to let things happen as they come, And I don't, maybe I'm sure there's nothing wrong with letting things happen as they will, whatever. A day a week, 2 days a week, depending on who you are. But I think if we're talking about something like weight loss or like, building a business or whatever it may be, like a lot of those things they're so habit oriented.
There's certain standards.
And so when we can create routines to just make that shit on autopilot, man, you make it so much easier for yourself.
Yeah. And you'll stop having that internal conflict with yourself. Like when you lie to yourself because you should be doing something that you're not doing.
Yep.
Fuck that, man.
Yep. Fuck that, he said. Let's wrap it up there. I like it. All right. Thank y'all for listening.